Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. I am Erica and this is Everything Erica, and today we are doing something a little bit different. I am introducing the entrepreneur side of Everything Erica. You will see all sides of me. I'm a mother, I'm a wife, I'm a business owner, and I'm also trying to get out of currently $33,000 worth in debt. So thank you guys so much for joining me today. In today's video, I will be telling you guys from my experience how to lease your very own storefront. I'm going to discuss this in terms that you can understand, because me as a business owner, I didn't go to any business school. I didn't really know anything much about business. It was all YouTube University. It was reading books. It was listening to audiobooks. It was podcasts, anything that I can do in order to understand this whole business world. So today, I just want to bring the information in a way for you to understand it. So if you're here for that today, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and let's get into today's video. All right, so these are the actual steps that I took in order to lease this storefront. This is my second location. My first location didn't do so well just because of things that I didn't know. It was my first business, and I feel like once you fail at something and you get back up and you just continue to move, you get your second location, and now you're just like a pro. You're expert. You know what all to expect. You know what to ask for. You know what to negotiate for. And that's the reason why I want to deliver this information for you today. The first thing you want to know is you need to decide which part of town you want to be in. So I knew that we didn't want to go into another high rent, so I searched for areas that was nice but not too pricey. So I'm currently in Los Angeles, California, and we rented our first location in Burbank, and now our second location, or our new location, is located in Harbor City, California. It's a very nice area, and it's not that expensive. Granted, our last square footage for our last location was $19.95 for the square foot, and this one is 1,113 square foot. But it's perfect for what we're trying to do, so we're okay with that. So first things first is to decide what part of town you want to be in. Now, once you decide what part of town you want to be in, you can go ahead and do your search. So for me, I did all the search myself. They do have broker and agents out there that you can reach out to, but the information is free. You don't have to pay for someone to help you find a location. Just go ahead and go on your Google search, and then you can look up storefronts for lease or storefronts for rent in whatever particular area that you're trying to be in. You put in the zip code or the city. Some popular ones that I use is LoopNet and Crixie. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. It's CREXI. But for my first location, I use LoopNet, and for my second location, the one that we're currently in, I use Crixie. So you can go ahead and filter out your search. You can go ahead and put the size of your unit, whether you want it to be a large square foot unit or you could have a smaller square foot unit. You can also search the type of unit that you want. So they have like a flex unit, you could be in a retail unit, or you can be in an office space. And then they also have the price that you can adjust to something that's around your price range, so you just don't get a whole bunch of different places that are out of your price range and you're wasting your time. There are two types of rental spaces that I wasn't aware of. The two type of rental spaces are a triple net and then one without. And what triple net is, it will be like three ends next to each other. So what triple net is that everyone pays for the maintenance of the common areas. So the way they charge you is that they usually charge a set price per square foot of your unit. So say if you go to a location and you say, oh, the rent is $1 per square foot and the unit is 1,000 square foot, meaning that the rent will be $1,000. Now, they would also have the triple net cost is, say, another $1 per square foot. I'm just doing this as examples to round up the numbers. So basically, the rent is $1,000 and your triple net will be $1,000. That means that the total you will be paying every month is $2,000. So when you are looking for a place, just keep that in mind. They're gonna have the rent there listed, as well as the triple net will maybe in the description. And you need to just calculate that to say, okay, am I gonna be able to afford this? So that's what happened with our last location. They had a rent cost that was like, oh, that sounds good. And then they had the triple net cost, which made the rent higher than what we wanted to pay. But I go into that in another video of how that business failed. Or you could check out my shorts. Actually, I have that in my shorts onto the reason why my last business failed. And of course, the other type of rental space is without a triple net. This is usually for office spaces, but for sure, most shopping centers have triple net expenses. And looking for a rental space. All right, so like I said, this is Everything Erica. I am a mom. I'm trying to record this. I didn't have a babysitter. This was happening. Okay, so the next thing you need to do when you're looking for a space is that you actually need to have a target market in mind. So then that's how you know where you should set up your location. For me, I learned that it didn't really matter much for the foot traffic because pregnancy is such a narrow market. Like, everyone is not going to be pregnant at the same time. It's not always in demand. So I learned that foot traffic is great, but in my line of work, it didn't really matter. We was at our location for 5 years and only a handful of people stumbled into our location from seeing our sign on the street. And we were at a busy intersection. So in that case, in my line of work, foot traffic really doesn't matter because we gain most of our customers through Google, Instagram, and Yelp. But say for instance, if you are a smoothie place, everyone drinks smoothies, right? So when looking for your location, it is wise to be placed next to, say, a gym, because then people that comes out of the gym will want to go get a smoothie after they work out. So just depending on your business, the right positioning, thinking about, hey, who is buying from us? How are we getting our customers? That is a smart and wise way to pick your location. Okay, so now we're coming to the steps on once you're online, you search for the locations, you got some locations written down, you then will contact the agent or broker that is listed under that property. And basically what I did is I just called them up and said, hey, I would like to see your property. Is it still available? It's the property at whatever address it is. And then whatever questions that I didn't see on the description, I'll then ask them, hey, like for instance, this location that we're in, it didn't list that they had an elevator. I called other places that I looked at and they were on the second floor, but they didn't have an elevator. And this location happened to have an elevator. So instead of me wasting my time and say, hey, I would like to come down and take a look at the place, I made sure that I got the important questions out first before I wasted my time and the agent's time to come down to take a look at the place. So once you decide, okay, all my questions are answered, it's time for me to go see the place, you come and take a look at the place. And say you love the place, you know this is the location you want to be in, the price is right, you then just ask, okay, you ask the broker, what information is it that you need from us to start the process? For us in this current location, they needed to fill out an application for us. We filled out an application, and in this application, it just wanted to know our personal finances. Of course, when renting anything, they want to know your personal finances because they want to know if you're trustworthy. They want to know your assets, your liabilities. Do you have any debts? They also want to know sometimes your business financials if you've been in business before. During this application process, they run everything. Your credit is A1. Next step is negotiations. So negotiation is basically going to be in the form of what's called an LOI. And a LOI is a letter of intent. When I first got this letter the first time, I didn't know what the heck this was. We went over it, I signed it, and I said, okay, that's it, and that wasn't it. So letter of intent basically is gonna be this 1-page or 2-page document basically summarizing everything you and the broker went over. It will tell you how much you will pay to move into the current location, and it will also let you know your lease term. It will also have how many months of free rent they will allow you to have, and free rent in business language is called rent abatement. So whenever you see rent abatement, that means that that is actual free rent. Going off of my first location, we had negotiated that they will build out our space. So we didn't have to spend any money on material. We didn't have to do any of this stuff I'm doing here now. It basically, they did it themselves. We agreed on a 5-year lease. We gave them the first and last month's rent, and then they did the build out for us. And then after they were done with the build out, they handed over the keys, and then we were able to have access to the property. For this current location, it was different. They gave us an allowance. Now, they have 2 different types of leases when it comes to this. They can either choose to build out your space, or they can choose to give you an allowance. For this current location that we are in, we agreed upon that they would give us $12 per square foot. So this unit is 1,113 square foot, so that's roughly about $13,000. This money is an upfront cost. So we had to come out of pocket in order to do the build out and get material and all that. And then once everything is done, they then write a check for that full amount and then give it to us. And this was a little different than what we were used to. The other place we came from, they actually built out the space for us. This current space, we had to wait on permits. We had a long 4-month drag out for the permits. The construction now has to go through different phases of inspection. That was another wait. So they gave us, I believe, 5 months of free rent, which was ate up through the permit process and now having to wait for an inspection. So that will be something that I've learned to negotiate if we were to open up another location, is how much free rent are we getting? Does this build out require a permit? Because that all plays into, is it really worth me getting this free rent just for it to be ate up by the permit processing? Because we thought we were gonna have that time in order to get money, in order to build up to pay once we have to pay rent, but that wasn't the case. That was a big thing for us. And just so you won't make the same mistake that we made, is make sure if they say that they give you an allowance and they give you free rent to build out your space, is the permit process within that amount of free rent that they gave you? Because then that matters. You know, you think you're gonna get ahead and you're actually not getting ahead. They just give you that time to get the building together. Anywho, in this LOI, you negotiate your terms. Make sure you ask for the right amount of rent abatement. Make sure, most landlords like to see that you guys are leasing the place for 5 years. If you lease the place for 5 years, they're more lenient on what they want to offer you for free rent. And they're more lenient on doing your build out instead of giving you an allowance. So 5-year terms, they usually ask for that for the lease. The cost per square foot, you can actually negotiate this. For our last location, they wanted a higher cost per square foot along with that triple net cost. And we were actually able to negotiate on our rent to get our rent a little lower because I really wanted that location. Then once you and the landlord come to agreement, you guys sign the LOI. At that point is when your broker or agent will draft up a official contract. And in this contract, it's gonna be a long document, about 30 pages. Make sure you read through the document. If you don't know the verbiage or the language that's in that document, see if you can hire somebody to take a look at the document, because you don't want to sign something or get yourself into something that you don't know about just because you want to get this place and you got to sign it. Make sure that you really, really read over that document. And then once the contract is signed, congratulations. The place is now yours. You are now the owner of a storefront, and they will give you the keys. You just have to first give them whatever the agreed upon deposit is. The security deposit is usually based off of your finances. Like if you have really good finances, really good credit score, they will be a little bit more lenient too on how much they want to get from you before they actually rent the place to you. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed my video today. This is the Entrepreneur Corner that I am doing for Everything Erica. You're gonna get all of me, all that I am trying to inspire to be. So until next time, you got this. I believe in you. Let's be great. Peace.